Hi YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to the Decipher toy review. Today we're only just going to be taking a look at 3 waterbird toys. Of course, yes, waterbird toys in the theme of ducks. And if they do swim like ducks, and if they do look like ducks, of course, at the same time, while swimming, of course, they surely are paper ducks. And actually, let me just go ahead and grab the webcam. And, you know, I often think to myself that even with the clear, sunny skies, with the clouds amongst the background, of course, it really does look like a bright picture. When in reality, of course, yes, I do know that the war in Ukraine and the COVID-19 pandemic, two of the most of all stubborn, of all ongoing problems that we just can't help all the times. And the stubbornness between the war in Ukraine and Russia, of course, and also the COVID-19 pandemic really does start to paint a very dark picture. Not only for the fact it paints a dark picture, but it also paints a dark picture of what, I don't know why I'm repeating here, it also paints a dark picture on what's going to come for the near future. And I mean, give me a break, guys, because obviously, if this is overly talked about, well, we are pretty much in a stack of trouble. And I've got a funny feeling, well, not so funny feeling, that 2022, as far as the eye can see, it's pretty much a year which has started for all of the wrong reasons, and it feels like that, not only that we've landed in hot water, and I can tell you this, not only are we on a stack of deep, deep trouble, we have pretty much got into the wrong end of the stick. But who knows, maybe 2022 would come good, especially during the, you know, the crazy times that we're having at the moment though. In fact, yes, the constant, ongoing and stubborn war in Ukraine and Russia, and also the pandemic that we're having at the moment, it really has caused so much, you know what I mean, complete and utter, it really has made a complete, a complete train wreck. Even though, well, with my toy train, it's not completely crashed. Obviously, just as I sort of saying that, maybe it's best I won't pretty much do a train wrecking video, as always, as per usual on YouTube, unless if I got, like, other toys and stuff, like those chicken toys. But anyways, we are going to be doing in the theme of ducks, and I am pretty sorry for saying a bit of sensitive content though, because obviously, it's a problem that is ongoing, but we just can't do anything about it though. As I've already said this, the constant and stubborn nature between the war in Ukraine and Russia and the pandemic never seems to stop. It really is stubbornly constant on the move. And it's pretty much an ongoing problem that is going to be like this. But how long would it be? But anyways, let's just start being bright. And let's just stop being a bit damp and a bit down without thinking about the war. Alright, okay, so we've got a lot of duck themed products. So I think the first one I'm going to take a look at is this flip-up Origami. It's an Aussie swimming grey teal ducks and chestnut teal ducks mixed flock 12 pack, which costs about £14.99, called out £15. There's the back of the packaging, which looks like that. I've made a Flapping Bird product before, though. I think it was back in 2019, a long time ago. I think I've made both species in the same product, but I can't really remember if I did. But nevertheless, this seems to be quite a very nice looking product. In the way it's been designed, yes, it looks pretty cool. But obviously, there is a bit of confusion whenever I think of grey teal and chestnut teal, two of the common, ubiquitously seen ducks in Australia. And we'll take a look at these. I've actually seen these birds in Dudley Zoo, but I think it was only the chestnut teal I only came across. Okay, that's what it looks like. The chestnut teal with its beautiful looking plumage. On the other side, of course, this is a male, because I can tell by the green head. And see, it looks like a mallard by the looks of it, but it is called a chestnut teal. And of course, yes, I've actually got 3 of the other males, which look like this. And The nice thing about these ducks is that they've also got a constantly beautiful, well, an ongoing pattern now. They've actually realised there's a combination between brown and orange, with orange being the bun of the sandwich, obviously, because, you know, it's sitting on top. That's just my idioms, you know. There you go, there's another male chestnut teal. All these birds have names in it, so hopefully all of these guys have names. And what's quite strange is that they've got some very diabolically crimson red eyes. Without sounding a bit too evil though, because we have to be quite a bit serious though. Sorry if my English is going a bit, you know, iffy though. But anyways, these are the male chestnut teals that they look like, with their beautiful grey backs of course, and their brown looking tails. But let's take a look at the females, because the females look quite a bit, you know, a bit challenging. Oh, sorry, that was a grey teal. There is actually a constant difference if I actually sit the female chestnut teal, and if I sit the grey teal, there's actually a constant difference. One thing I actually noticed about the grey teal is that there's no green on the wings though, whereas this one here, there is a bit of green, so I would obviously classify that as a bit of iridescent difference. And the head also looks different. This one's more browner. And if I have a look at the grey teal, you can see that the head has actually got a bit more of a greyer sort of reframe, or a sort of colorization going on here. And it's quite amazing. I would have never thought that the chestnut teal female duck though has actually got a bit more of a, how would you say it? Of course the female chestnut teals have got eyelashes. I do know that's a very mundane feature, but you know what? That's, you know, pretty obvious but very clever to know. Or very good to know actually, eh? I'm actually quite curious. I'm not sure if chestnut teal and grey teal are closely related to each other though. I'm pretty sure they are. Whenever I actually think about, not only because they're from Australia, but also because of their physical appearance. But I would have never thought that these birds would probably be classified as maybe a subspecies. I really don't know. But anyways, there's also another thing I've actually realised with the chestnut teal females is that the wings are actually a lot more browner than the grey teals, which actually let me just have a look at the wings. They are a little bit more greyer than the chestnut teal females. And of course there's the males actually have that sort of similar pattern with the chestnut teal. If I grab the female chestnut teal, I've actually realised, yes, the wings are kind of similar. If I grab the male here, there is a bit of similarity going on here. They've got these green wingtips at the end though, or sorry, they're called speculums. I think they've got like those beautiful green speculums at the end, which is just fairly nice to have in a toy set, of course. And I mean, hey, you know what? I just can't go wrong with making flip-up toys like that. And I mean, it's just chronically amazing. Those beautiful ducks of Australia. It's quite amazing that I'm doing Australian toys again, or Australian animal themed toys. Okay, that's what they look like. Swimming towards camera. They look fairly nice. Of course, I've already shown you the chestnut, both male and female ducks. Without sounding like a total rough and ready, you know, person though who does wham bam thank you no mentary content on YouTube. Of course, we've got a tiny colour. Really decent content bullet train pony. What looks like a weird dummy wooden railway generic Brio like train. Obviously, I should buy some more Brio stuff, even if it's quite expensive. But anyways, I'm just going to put the ducks away and let them migrate to where they roost. Of course, every bird loves to ruin the roost, obviously, eh? Then let's move on to another product. Okay, let's see if I can pack this one pretty perfectly, eh? I don't know about you, but we are constantly on the move, obviously. Okay, so this product is done and dusted. Off you go! Whoa! Right behind the penguin! Christmas penguin, obviously. Okay, let's move on to another flip-up product. And it's this product here. It is the Chestnut Origami Swimming Aussie, again, Wandering Whistling Duck Small Flock 5-pack. It costs about £7.75, which is quite, you know, pretty cheap. But it makes sense if you've got like 5 ducks instead of 12. If there was 12 in there, it would have been quite a complex product. At least they're actually quite nice though. I've actually realised that all these sets, I've actually realising they all use the new made in Thailand paper, which is actually quite, you know, completely and utterly strange. There's normally that tends to make toys in the UK, but, you know, in terms of component wise, I've actually realised that a lot of the flip-up toys I make often have paper, which is pretty much made in Thailand. And yes, we've got some red and orange wing detailing on the front, and of course the head looks good. It looks like a gosling by the looks of it though, eh? And there's also a very interesting sort of pattern. It looks like there's triangles. It could be like feather detailing, I guess. Looks like feather plumes, I guess. Looks like if the feathers were pluming on that duck, it would have made it completely and utterly funky. Just remember that word funky. Obviously, that looks pretty awesome. There's, yes, we've got a very nice tail design going on here. And of course there's evil eyes. Oh wait, they're not really evil. I would have thought them. But the eyes are actually brown on these ducks. Well, of course there's both the ring-tailed, sorry, the grey teal and the chestnut teal. Two of them are great species. So, I don't know why I get confused with different duck species these days. So there you go, there's their names. I actually heard of these birds, so I actually found, not just in Australia, but I've also noticed that there have also been some numerous records of these guys found in the Philippines and Indonesia as well. I would have never thought that these guys would be found, you know, only in Australia, but they're also found in the Philippines and Indonesia. I would have never thought about that. Well, I'm obviously pretty certain about these guys is that, hey, you know what, because of their physical appearances, that looks pretty cool. Of course, yes, I do know that they've got wing detailings, which look like that, and they look like that as well. It looks pretty nice. I mean, they do look like geese. That's what the back of the packaging has actually told me. They look fairly nice looking toys, indeed. Okay, it looks fairly cool. Much bigger than another duck species, but slimmer than a goose. But there you go, the wandering whistling duck. Of course, yes, I've actually liked the triangular sort of feather detailing. It looks like some kind of artist has actually made it simplistic. And also, what I've actually realised is that, you know, the feather detailing from here, and also from here, there's actually a lot of colour combinations being shaded and smudged together, just to give it a bit of realism, you know, to get a good effect on the birds, which looks completely and utterly nice. Really nice. Let's just go ahead and let's just make these guys fly. After taking a look at, well, ducks can fly, obviously, you know. After taking a look at this product, and I think the last one we should actually take a look at. Oh yes, our last product, but by no means least, is oh yes, the Flip Up Origami Australian Arthead Swimming Duck Flock 12-pack, and it costs £14.99. You'll call that £15, just like the grey teal and chestnut teal 12-pack, which was at the same price as well. And there you go. Looks like these guys are having some kind of feud over a female. And who's gonna make? Look at that. That looks pretty cool, eh? My goodness me, it looks like they're all having a bit of a fight, these males. And there's a female putting an end to all of that confrontation, saying, no fighting, no effing fighting. Of course, yes. And yes, very interestingly enough, it says paper models made in Thailand. Why wouldn't I be surprised? Who knows how long, or should I say, how many of those made in Thailand products will there be in the menu there? Since I've been to Malaysia, there's been a lot of paper in Malaysia though, and the ones I get from Malaysia are pretty much made in Thailand. And there you go, there's beautiful looking faces, of course, on those cool looking ducks. And to be quite honest, let's go ahead and pack this baby up. and see what they look like as they come. You know, I've been heavily investing into other stuff though for this year's summer. I bet you what the most asked for item though, or the most asked for items, I should say, I think in my opinion would definitely be the 4th of July, Independence Day, American Independence Day items. I think this female hard head needs a bit of a name, because, you know, it doesn't look like it was named. You'll see, of course, but you know what, I'm just going to add this, just to, you know, how to say it, give this girl a bit of a name. There you go, there's her name implemented here. Okay, so this duck here is of course a female hardhead. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it though? There's the feathers. She's actually got a bit of a lighter head than the male, and of course yes, the body's a bit duller and a little bit different compared to the male hardhead, who for some reason reminds me of the chocolate mallard from Crossy Road. If anyone remembers that game, Crossy Road, it was quite a very addictive game. Of course, yes, the mallard doesn't have a very white end on the back. Of course, yes, it looks pretty cool. And if I try and... it looks pretty chocolatey as well. Why am I thinking of food whenever I see, you know, critters like that in that colour? It's quite weird, that brown does make you hungry though. And not poopy. How weird is that? And of course there's the wings. Of course in good nick. They're also a bit of a different shade of brown. But notice there's actually something different. There's actually a distinctive grey line from here to there, which represents the wings. My crockies. If I grab the other duck here, there you go, that's the same sort of genre really. It looks pretty interesting, right? And of course, yes, I do have other males and females. Of course, yes, I've got at least around 12 of these guys and girls. Obviously, and let me just go ahead and put the hard heads into swimming mode without the train clobbering it, of course. I've actually realised that the females also have a very weird, you know, how do you say it? Oh, I don't know what word was this. That I don't know what it was, but they've got this sort of consistence of being completely and utterly different in the way they morpholise, if that's a word. There you go, there's their beautiful eyes, of course. And I've actually realised hardheads, whenever you think about the male, they're actually called white-eyed ducks. Well, not really white-headed, but they have got like a very big white eye. If it was cheesy enough, I would have put in googly eyes for that one, like I did with those tilapias. Well, I actually didn't add any googly eyes onto these ducks. What's quite strange is there's a bit of detailing missing on that side of the wing. Should have been a brown line on that one, Oh dear, that was a bit of an error. But nevertheless, luckily enough, I do have a handful of ducks, which look like that, and as nice as it sounds. It looks totally nice. In fact, we've got a mixture of males and females. The females have got like a much more darker sort of brownish, normal bird eye colour, except for the males, which look quite unusual with their white eyes like that, hence the name white-eyed duck. And it looks like they're going to be swimming in a single file line. Well, not really in a single file line, but more of a single file, actually more like a triple file, sort of, how do you say it, sort of swim, of course. I mean, no matter how erratic, whenever you see both males and females swimming together, got a funny feeling they often jostle for space in the way that they swim. Of course, that's a female hardhead. And, you know, I've actually realised that the male hardhead has got a bit more of a almost caramelly sort of, not so yellowish sort of caramel like sort of detailing on the wings, of course, whereas this one here, there's actually two halves. Obviously there's dark brown on the top, but this one here's got like two halves. There's a bit of brown which looks like that, and there's like a rusty sort of shaded brown on the bottom of these birds. But nevertheless, these guys look quite cool. These guys, I think they're usually very silent though. And the reason why I made these ducks is because I think they're actually related to not only pochards, but also tufted ducks. Like crockies, that seems to be quite a very massive duck army. Why am I thinking that very hilarious, phenomenal video on YouTube called The Duck Army, where there's that one guy who walks into that one pet store and he actually presses on one of the rubber duckies. Not the ones that you see in the bathroom, but the ones that look like rubber chickens. And when you did that, then when you pressed all of them, it's like people screaming. That's actually one hilarious viral video on YouTube that probably might be setting up as some kind of internet meme. But there you go, they look fairly nice, those hardhead ducks. They almost look like Choco Mallards from Crossy Road, if you ask me, eh? Very nostalgic game. And let's just go ahead and put these babies up. Let's probably make these guys fly. Oh boy, let's go. Here we go, guys, eh? Time for a good back away, eh? Oh boy, I feel like after doing this toy review, I feel like I want to go ahead and make more American stuff, like, you know, more 4th of July items. Because I definitely say that the 4th of July Independence Day, American Independence Day event is probably one of the more anticipated, if not asked for, I just say, events. I might be pondering upon, because obviously, not only I can ponder upon, but it's also something to honour the American audience on my YouTube channel with such admiration now, of course, admiration actually, sorry, I don't know why I'm using words in such a very unrealistic sort of way, but anyways, let me just throw this baby away. Whoa! It actually didn't go towards the penguin, it actually made it towards, right in front of that Hot Wheels poster, and the calendars as well. How weird is that? And also, speaking of 4th, actually realising that maybe speaking about 4th of July, I don't know about you, but anyways, if you really enjoyed this video, please give this video a like. Sorry, this video has actually gone quite rough and ready there, because I didn't know what to say, and I was also quite, you know, a bit unjumbly though. I didn't unjumble myself with mistakes like that, but it happens to all of us. Maybe, I don't know about you, but I should have done the fire wheel. Anyways, of course, yes, going back to that whole 4th of July thingy bob, I feel like it's going to be anticipating, not only anticipating for various reasons, but it's something I can bestow upon. That's it. That's one word, right? Bestow. But anyways, hope you really enjoyed this very weird video. Sorry for the rough and ready talking though, I didn't realise on how rough and ready that I spoke. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now. And also sorry for the tragedy at the start of this video that I had to say. Again, thank you and goodbye. Bye.